in service of your kiddo, which is beautiful and valuable. But at the same time, I believe and have found some strategies around creating and both scenarios instead of either or. This morning, I was looking at something that was I think it was in the New York Times, about how like burnout has become the norm for parents, and that's just what's expected. And that's not really amazing news. It's not amazing news for a lot of reasons. And one of the reasons, especially when you have a kiddo with special needs, where you have a lot of new stuff on board, is that you take a lot of learning, right? You are doing a lot of stuff and it's not easy. And so when we find balance and we work towards creating some level of balance, not only does it save mom and dad, right, from, mental health, issues that can come along with parenting burnout, it also lets your energy show up differently for the way that you're going to parent your kiddos. And that's even more important when you have an intervention on board, because there's other people who are a part of your parenting, right? Like you've got a team of people who have ideas and procedures, and that's a ton to balance, but it's also a ton to communicate. And so by being able to fill up your own cup and being able to embody your you-ness, you're going to be able to not only help yourself to feel a little bit more like yourself, create some more balance with this thing, this ABA intervention or any other interventions your child or family might be using at this time. You're going to be able to be more of yourself, and you're going to model that's an appropriate thing to do for your kiddos, so that as they grow up, they're going to be able to see how you've managed to balance, how you've managed to be able to see all of the things that are important in your life and create space for all of them, and learn that that's not only okay, but possible, which is exciting. And the reason why I wrote that book is because there's so many strategies to be able to actually do that, even though it feels really far away. And you're going to need a piece of paper and a pen, or if you're on your computer, a Word doc is perfect, because we're going to be doing some tangible strategies today that are part of like the first chapter of my book, to be able to get you started so that you can start seeing the strategies that you can do this, that this is possible. So let's quickly talk about what is balance. And we already talked a little bit about how it helps you, but balance is when you are finding the stuff that's important to you, right? And you're getting it all kind of put in your life. And what's challenging a lot of the times, right, going into the barriers to balance, is that we try to pack all of it in that's important, and we don't have the bandwidth for it, right? We just don't. Like, there's not enough hours in the day, there's not enough energy, there's not enough coffee to fuel that. And so when we have, like, I'm just going to use two things as an example, but it's more complicated than that. When we have two things that are really important to us, it feels uncomfortable when they bash together, when they're competing for our time and energy. And so finding the balance line can be a little bit uncomfortable, and it's making space for that discomfort and understanding that it's a bit of a journey, right? It's not going to be 100% achievable. Now, before you click off, because I just said balance isn't 100% achievable, I want to say that we as humans are always raising the bar. And there's some mechanisms in our brain, if we get into, like neuroscience and stuff, that has actually kept us alive, and it's really beneficial. But at the same time, it doesn't give us a whole lot of space to acknowledge the good, to celebrate when we're doing it right, because we're constantly changing the bar for ourselves. We can't actually reach a destination of balance. And it's something that we have to learn to train ourselves to do. And that's what some of this is about, is learning to create habits in our mind the same way that we might create habits in our external environment, like brushing our teeth or, tying our shoes. For most of us as adults, those are probably things that we don't think about anymore. You might think about them with your kiddos, and that might even be a program that one of your kiddos is working on. And so that shaping process can happen in actions. So what we're going to do is think about how we can shape our thoughts and feelings in our brain and create new habits around that.